everybody, and welcome to another episode of Metal Mastermind. I'm your host, Ken Candelas, and with me, I have a very special friend and a guest for you all. His name is Christian, and he goes by Xian Murder, and his band, the Amatory Murder, has just announced their new album, The Sounds of Seven Angels. And I gotta tell you, I had a little bit of a preview for it, and I am so excited about it. And without further ado, Christian, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, and what do you do in all of that?
Hey everyone, I am Xian Murder. Hi Ken. Hi everyone out there. I am the singer for the Amatory Murder. Also play a little here and there, little synth. I engineer our albums. Yeah, and I'm a riot starter, or I like to think that I am.
Yeah, wow. I mean, and that's awesome that you say that, because the way I see you is a very powerful independent artist, and or at least you've reclaimed power as an independent artist, which is so important and so inspiring. It takes a lot of energy and time and dedication and focus to do something like the music industry, and nonetheless, you are doing it well, my friend. So let's talk a little bit about your album, and maybe can you start maybe from the beginning? What was the intention with all of this, and how did you guys come up with this idea of using essentially the Rapture to make your concept?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think, you know, it was like a transformation in a way for myself. In terms of, living through COVID was a big thing for all of us in New York. I mean, it changed a lot of things, and it felt like the walls kind of like were closing in, rules were tightening, streets were emptied out, and creativity was kind of pushed like underground. You know, you kind of had to look for it you had to look for it, whereas like we're used to just walking wherever and there it is. And I think there was this like transformation of learning how to exist without waiting for permission. And the title, the title pulls from like biblical imagery, obviously. And it's not like we're preaching anything,
Mm-hmm.
but Revelation, especially like, the symbolism of the seven angels is more of a metaphor for judgment, um, transformation, and I would say like the chaos that comes before clarity, you know. And I think the band were drawn to that tension just because of like everything that had been going on. And it's not about like religion, or I'd say it's like about the human condition. And in one way or another, we all face a reckoning. So I think that's where like the title comes from. That's where the imagery comes from. And it's like this journey that, at some point we all face a reckoning in life.
Yeah, I think that's very powerful. You've got a very universal idea here. I mean, I'm very familiar with this concept, as you well know. I am doing my own Dante's Inferno adaptation, so this is very much something that I'm aware of. And when you are using uh, even a religion like Christianity, in this case, would be I look at it as a mythological resource to tell a story, to tell something that we can learn from, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that this is what we believe. It's what the meaning behind the story is saying is what's important. So I love that. And you go into actually quite a lot of dynamics musically within the album, which I think represent that. There's this sort of haunting feeling I'm hearing, and there's also quite a bit of interludes in between some of these major hitters. I'm listening to this, I'm like, yeah, this is a narrative, and it's a musical journey that I'm listening to, but there's also cinematic elements that pull me into, let's say, a scene where I'm witnessing some pain from an individual, and then how it transitions into the next song. Especially, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I really like the Lessons for the Damned, the one right before Say Hey
Yeah.
for Doomsday, because the way how it just goes into it is just fabulous. So that's a little tidbit for those of you who are waiting for the album. Go ahead and check that transition. Really, really cool. But yeah, can you
That
go?
was actually sorry to cut you off. Shout out to
Sure, go
Binks
ahead.
because that shout out to Binks because that was one of his kind of initial ideas was like there's a big push and pull with authority on the album, and school is like a big part of Binks's background, schooling, and I think he wanted to somehow incorporate that into the story. So I'm that's cool that you said that.
Yes, it is something that I definitely recognized as, probably as Binks would put it.
Yeah, yeah,
um, that's great. And for you guys, just a little backstory here. Not too long ago, actually, I think it was about a week ago. We just went on tour together, Christian and I, for the Amatory Murder. We played in Salem, Massachusetts for Dark at the Koto. It's such an amazing place. It's got a lot of love from the community. If I'm understanding right, Dark is basically goth night, and it's amazing how much like people love coming to a venue like this for those kinds of occasions. So it was such a pleasure, and we had I think a really, really good, fabulous time doing
yeah.
that tour.
It was so much fun. Yeah, Dark is like this alternative event that they throw up in Salem, and for one reason or another, they like our band, they like our little classic rock and roll band. So that was the third time we've gone back. Yes, Scott had a family thing, so we need someone to hop on drums, and you killed it, man. It was a
Thanks,
lot of
man.
fun. I was glad you got to experience it, and warts and all
Yep.
with touring with this band. But yeah, thanks for hopping on, man. That
Oh,
was a lot of fun.
oh, it was my pleasure, and no, it was good. It was good times all around, really. And with all the things that I got to witness by being on tour with you guys, I felt that it was just going to be a really good conversation that we had this going on today, because a lot of our audience is really seeking to do something like what you or I or Glenn Fricker or any of these other professionals in the modern space are doing. Can you speak a little bit on, kind of what you prioritize as a band leader? How have you changed over the years?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really depends on what stage we're at with what we're doing. So as a band leader, I mean, it's you got to get everyone, you got to get everyone on the same page, which thankfully we are. I mean, I feel I work with the three of the best musicians in New York and arguably the country. I'm very, very lucky. Um, I don't like relying on other people to do things. I feel like a lot of people talk the talk but don't walk the walk, and I want to put on the best shows. I want to put on the best shows. I want to make the best music, the best product. And a funny thing, I was listening to an interview with Roberto Rodriguez, the film director, recently, and he said he didn't when he started filmmaking, he didn't know really how to do anything. He knew he wanted to make movies, but he didn't know about cameras. He didn't know about script writing, like any of this stuff. And he had a list of I don't knows, and he just taught himself each one of those I don't knows, because the more I don't knows you have, the farther away you are from your goal, from your dream.
Hmm.
So as a band leader, I really try to make sure that we don't have a lot of I don't knows. You know, I like to make sure that we're sounding good, that the IEMs are working good, that our lights are looking good. I mean, obviously everyone's got to be playing great, but I just and also I try to keep everyone's moods like high. Um, yeah, it's just spearheading, just righting the ship and making sure everyone's on the same journey, and which we are. Um, and I'm lucky also to be working with a great team behind the scenes too. Of people that can hop on and take care of a lot of the nitty gritty business stuff that I don't really like dealing with. We're lucky to have that at this point, because for a long time we didn't have that, and now we do. And yeah, it's
So
just you got to know that you want something bad enough and just keep going.
yeah, so learning how to overcome certain boundaries when it's an opportunity to start delegating your tasks to others, right? I I very much resonate with the idea that eliminating the amount of I don't knows
Hmm.
is a great motto to remember, because it allows you to at least keep questioning, what do I need to know in order to X, Y, and Z, right? And to continue progress. Because for those of you who are going in this as an independent artist, which is going to be quite honestly 95% of
Yeah.
everybody in the world, probably even higher than that, 99, I'd even say. So you have this very, very small position that needs to grow from a seed into a giant oak tree. Like, that's going to just take time. It's not like you just can buy the oak tree. It takes a lot of money to do that. So, learning all the skill sets, from just knowing your craft as a musician to knowing the business to, being able to network, like those are business skills in this sense, not necessarily musician skills, right? You become a bigger multifaceted person. I know for a fact that you're a graphic designer as well. And having all those skill sets is something that you use as your tools. But when it becomes literally, quite literally, that there can't be more than you have
Yeah.
just only so much time, then it's a good question as to, do I need help? How can I get help? Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it. Like two things. The first one is know that you want to do it. Like,
yeah,
know that you want to do it, because the minute you are questioning it and like, oh, maybe I should just stop this and work a real job a lot more, and take, what I mean, the minute you start doubting it, then don't do it, because there's somebody else out there that really wants it, and they're just going to keep going. So you have to really want to do it. You have to live and breathe it. And number two, there's something to be said, I mean, about yes, working with the right people, but you have to be smart about it. You have to establish trust. Who was I talking to? It's oh, you know what? I was listening to, like, I think it was like Jordan Peterson or someone that was saying that you need to, at a certain point, release your ego a little bit and be open to working with other people that can be trusted to do the things that you just don't have the time to do, or maybe you really don't have the knowledge of, and these people or person will have the knowledge of. You know what I mean? So it's like, do as much as you can so you don't have to rely on other people, even if it means staying up till 3 in the morning. um, but also be open to working with the right people when they come along.
right. Yes.
You
And
know?
that's a great balance. And I had this conversation with Maor Applebaum on, I believe, one or two episodes ago. And this was a really, really a big concept of just embracing the community and the people around you that can help and help you grow. Um, it's like the water that we're talking about with the whole seed analogy, right?
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
very, 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 very good to be able to also recognize those opportunities around you, and then foster relationships that help grow everybody as a whole. Honestly, helping somebody else, I know, helps me.
Yeah, it's a
So
great feeling.
it is, and it's a great feeling. Exactly. So these are definitely things that should be shared more often in discussions like these, because I love the idea of being able to do everything yourself if you want to go ahead and go that far, but it's also like it's at what point what do you do with that power, right? Like, is it just you're only here for yourself and nobody else helps you, and that's going to take you a long time and all that stubbornness, and you're going to be a mule for it. Yeah, well, okay, have fun. uh then there's the other way of doing it, which is, hey, like, using that to create a better community around you, that people want to help each other because you got each other's back. That's a whole other way of doing it, and that's what I love about also engages with bands on tour. I've seen it many times where bands help each other out, and on those tours it becomes another relationship that does something for them in the future, whether it's becoming on tour with a different artist roster that includes that band plus yours or whatever. It could be amazing what turns out from relationships, and that's a really huge part of this. So uh
Yeah.
I want to say thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, I think and you're welcome. I think that also the more you do something and the more you're focused on it, the more you're going to attract the right people. You know, if you're really serious about something and you're working really hard at it, other people that work really hard will be attracted to that, and you're going to have people that try to like latch on along the way, but you'll know when they're full of shit. You know when someone's not doing their job, but I can confidently say that, you know now that we kind of have our groove going with this, the right people are we're linking up with them, and like you said, on tours, we're meeting these really awesome bands on tour that are like-minded and want the same thing and think the same way, not think the same way, but like they're, I like to think that my band is really, I mean, you spent some time with us now, we're really genuine, down to earth people, and
Absolutely.
it's really hard to meet it's hard meeting people like that in this industry, but we've met quite a few bands like that now, and I think that's just because we stayed on course and we kept true to ourselves and we work really hard, you know um and working hard, like I say, I mean, sometimes you're up till 3 in the morning. So I listen to a lot of podcasts about like people that run businesses, because when you're running a band that you want to turn into a big money maker eventually, and your life, you have to think of it as a business, and that means taking calls at 3 in the morning, or working till 3 in the morning, or or 2 in the morning, or 6 in the morning, and then getting 2 hours of sleep,
Yep.
and knowing and believing that it's bringing you closer to where you want to be, and knowing that you're going to meet the right people because of that. you
Yeah.
know
Have faith in the process, really.
yes, you have to have faith in the
Yeah.
process. It's like, it goes back to what I said a few minutes ago, where it's the minute you start doubting it for more than a minute is when, no, like you gotta, you can't, because, and also there's people that are gonna exploit that.
Right.
They're gonna exploit your, I don't want to say weakness, but they're gonna exploit your doubt, and they're gonna use it to their own advantage, or their own, whether that's financial advantage, or just being a jerk. you know
Yeah.
um
If you're going down that road, your faith becomes, some people call their faith in God or what have you, but you could also put faith in your music. You could put faith in your muse, what have you. That could be a way of thinking about this. I've always felt in my mind like my music or my mission in doing what I'm doing was always something that was as much of a calling as something as sacred. So going after something that is sacred to you means you have faith in that you will bring to life something that will touch others in a way that extends beyond just what you have in, even in right now, like your own physical possessions. It becomes something more of a mind, of a concept, something that unifies a mission for people too. And that's what aligns your audience with what you do, right? It's when people look at you as an artist, what do they think? Are they and not to think about like I care about what they think I in the way that is not true to you. I'm saying is, am I perceiving myself with more clarity so that they understand that there's not much really to think? It's presented as such. And it's easy for them to become a part of it. And
Yeah.
so I believe the Amatory Murder is very good at branding and what that has become at this point in time.
Yeah, I think it's funny you said spiritual. I mean, it's not funny. It's Scott, our drummer, he says those exact words. He says music is very spiritual for me. Um and it's spiritual for a lot of people. It's definitely spiritual for this band. For me it's like going to church. Like I'm a Christian, and I go to church, and it's very similar when I'm performing with my band. It's a very spiritual, godlike experience because you're, I don't know, I know what I'm talking about, that feeling you get.
Yeah,
um
for sure.
which it kind of ties back into like it kind of ties back into the album in a weird way, because it is a spiritual journey. Music and God are very similar to me.
Yeah,
So like that's why this album was like kind of therapeutic in a way to make. I know I just
sure.
went off course there, but
No, no, I think it's in a way it prophesizes its own destiny in that case. I like the
yes.
concept of it being something that is universal in its story, but it's also personal to you in your own journey. And that's very relatable there too. It's a great experience. And can we get to also, I want to know, what was your production process like through this album? Did you guys go to a professional studio? Did you do this as a home recording? What was your avenue of work here?
That's another great question, and it's another it reminds me of the I don't know list, because I didn't know how to do much in the way of production and recording and all that, but I knew that I wanted to know how to do it, because I got really tired of like paying somebody else to do it and being on studio time and that whole thing. So we we did it all in our studio in Bushwick, and I did some of it in my home studio. But yeah, the production was all. I mean, I produce our stuff.
Wow.
I don't want to have to rely on other people. I mean, that's not to say that we wouldn't work with other producers when the right people come along. But yeah, right now it's me. I started by watching my friends that were producers. Like I would watch them open up Pro Tools, and I'd be like, "What are you doing?" and blah 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 blah. And that's really how I learned how to do that stuff. And so yeah, everything, the production process is, hey, here's a song. Let's kind of get it down. Let's maybe record a room demo or something, and then polish it out from there. And all right, now it's time to multi-track.
Right.
You
And
know,
you actually attended an audio trade school, haven't you?
I did take a couple of courses in at a school in Manhattan,
Yes.
just to make sure that I knew what I was doing was the right thing. But also,
Well, that's
go ahead.
amazing. No, that's amazing. Well, I'll even say it because they're good friends of this channel. It's, SAE Institute. Thank you so much for everything that you've given. They're a place where I work as well, and I got to give a shout out to those guys. The professors there are actually very, very amazing people, and they really think about their students in the long run. So,
And
it's really cool to know that you also went there.
yeah, I mean, I didn't go to the degree that you did, but I uh I think I took maybe like one or two, like it was so long ago. But
Yeah.
and also like YouTube has been a very good resource. Like I don't know how to do this, and it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Boom 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 boom. you know I'm very inspired. It's a very amazing time, because like a lot of people have like home studio options that they didn't for the first 70 years of rock and roll.
Right.
you know
Eh,
during the pandemic, a lot of people push their music from their apartments. I don't know if you know the group Medusa. They do a lot of
yes.
like, yeah, they do like a lot of pop dancey stuff like that, but I was very influenced by them. I follow their career. And I was very I admire them. So they've had a big, surprisingly, they've had a big influence on how I do things too, in
Amazing.
terms of like synthesizers and things like that.
Yeah, and you have also a very big inspiration from, I can tell, like Trent Reznor, from Nine Inch Nails. I mean, David Bowie,
Yeah.
Green Day. I mean, it's all in there. I feel like even a little bit of like some Avenged Sevenfold and Ghost is kind of in there too in some ways. It's kind of really fun, the way you have your music sort of so eclectic, and sharing with all these different styles. You actually also play everything from like jazz to hard hitting metal. It's very dynamic. So guys, definitely check it out. We already have actually one single out. It's called Velvet Noose.
Mm.
It's from the upcoming album, The Sounds of Seven Angels. So when you guys, you actually, Christian, do you want to talk a little bit about those details first? Where can they find you and all of that information to follow up?
Yeah. We're on Instagram is the big social media we use the most. But our music is on, Spotify, Apple Music. We sell the music too on Bandcamp. I don't know if everyone knows Bandcamp, but it's a musician platform it's run by musicians. Um, Facebook, YouTube, Velvet Noose, the new video is on YouTube. Um, yeah. And yeah, the people have really been supportive so far, and it's very exciting. I'm very excited. I haven't been very excited in a while. So
Yeah, this is a big step. You guys are really pushing hard for this one. I've known Christian for many years now at this
yeah,
point, and it's always good to see that someone that you've known for a while is still at it, and not only at it, but just thriving from it, man. That's great.
thank you.
So
I don't
yeah,
want to. I don't want to be on my deathbed and be like, "Oh, what if I had tried? What if I had kept going?" You know what I mean?
definitely
That's
not.
that's the
You are not
worst.
that person. So yeah, like actually, do you have any last words for our audience, Christian? I know everybody has just kind of gotten a little taste for the mindset of the person behind the Amatory Murder, but if you had to leave the audience with any sort of advice or any sort of thoughts, what would they be?
Um, Treat every day like it could be your last. So let everyone know in life that you love them. Be good to yourselves and each other. Do what you love, even if it's not something that's easy. And yeah, just be passionate about what you do and be nice to people and be nice to yourself. You know,
That's
yeah.
great.
And if
That
you're in New York, we'd love to see you at our record release show at Lucky 13's June 28th. And we'll also be doing the second leg of our Revelation tour in June. So if you're down south, hit up any of those dates.
that's amazing. And actually, Revelation is a very good song too.
Oh, thank you, man. Oh, God, that one. Can I just touch on that one real quick?
Sure.
That was so much fun for me because I really went all in. I've never done Gregorian chants before, and I had just been listening to like a lot of Gregorian chants for the couple of months leading up to recording that, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. So that was really exciting for me to do. That one is yeah, that was a fun song.
Yeah.
That was a religious experience.
Amazing. That's so cool to hear because your mentality going into that now, I have a little bit of a different perspective into all of that. So that's very cool. I will re-listening to that one for sure.
Yeah, it's a definitely a song about dualities. So
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Christian. This has been such a pleasure. Everybody on the audience, I just want to let you know, Metal Mastermind, like always, we are a resource for metal artists across the world. We have courses based on guitar, musicianship. We'll be having things with other instruments like drums and keyboards. We'll be getting into courses for even music video animation and all that. There's a lot that's happening at Metal Mastermind in the next coming months, and I can't wait to share more about that. But those are some sneak tips on the upcoming content that's coming out. So if you want more information about all of those services, go to metalmastermind.com, and don't forget to check out the Amatory Murder, the Sounds of Seven Angels on June 28th. Did I get that right?
It comes out. The record comes out June 23rd, and the record release show is June 28th.
All right,
yeah.
fantastic.
And Ken, by the way, man, I'm so proud of you. You're killing it. You're killing
Thank
it.
you.
This is awesome. You're doing a really
Appreciate
good
it so much. I really do. Okay, well, everybody, thanks again, and don't forget to always create your own sound.